UMass just went up in the international ranking system for universities. And to talk about it, we have Michael Burns, Allie Bush, and Jesse. uh, well, before we talk about UMass as a whole, all 5 colleges, let's get some UMass Amherst pride. Burnsy, what do you love most about just UMass Amherst?
Just UMass Amherst.
Not the other UMasses, just us.
Just us. I just love the how big the campus is. Like there's so much diversity, and you can you can be somewhere and not have seen people that you've never met before, and there's always opportunities and a bunch of things going on. So I think that's what I like.
Allie, same question.
I like the location of UMass Amherst. I feel like we have that above the other schools, like not taking away from them as education.
No, take away from them.
Yeah, as educational institutions, but like, Lowell, or where are the other ones? I don't.
Dartmouth.
Like, I mean, I don't really know them that well as places, but I feel like UMass, like when you're here, you feel like you're in a city, but then you can go out and you feel like it's really rural, or some places are more suburban. So you just have like a really diverse feel, kind of like you said. And I think we have that over the other schools.
Mm-hmm.
And now Jessie. She took a gap year, for those of you who might not know, my good friend Jessie over here. She's returning as a grad student. Now what makes UMass a better grad school than the others around?
Well, we're ranked one of the top research institutions in the country, which is a very good thing. But UMass has a diverse number of programs that you can actually sign up for or apply to get into. And for instance, my program is public policy and administration, and I really like it, and it's very interdisciplinary, which is really, really nice, because I'm not a big politics person, but I can take lots of econ courses or even Spanish courses if I want to do that, and it all counts towards my degree.
And I mean, at the beginning, I did like to poke some fun at the other UMass colleges, but we are all UMass, all different branches of the same thing. Now, what kind of message does that send to, like, I guess people around the world that, like, even though we're split up like that, but we come together and we get the 91st ranking in the world? Like, what does that mean for us?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a unity thing. It's like we all kind of have pride in Amherst, and like we think it's the best UMass, and it probably is the best. But
definitely is.
It definitely is.
No contest.
No contest. But ultimately, if you go to any of the UMasses, you're part of the UMass system, and which is ranked 95th in the country, in the world. So it's not something it's something to be proud of if you're a UMass student at any of the UMasses.
And one of the big things that UMass prides itself on is that it's a state school, and we're actually the only state school in New England to crack the top 200 on this list. Now, like, what does that say to the other private schools around? Like,
I mean, I think it says a big F you, kind of, because I feel like not everyone, that's really generalizing, but like people at other schools, they're like, oh, we're the best, like this is a private school. Or I remember like when I was applying to UMass, people were like, oh, like you're just going to UMass, like kind of seemed safe, but that's not really the case anymore. And I feel like getting a ranking like this really shows that UMass like has a place in this world. Like it's not just like, oh, some public school that like everyone goes to. It's a really like competitive, really good school.
And I agree with that, because I feel like UMass does kind of have a chip on its shoulder, because it's like everyone's like, oh, you went to UMass, it's like the safe school. But really what it's becoming like one of those top private schools that like, and like your friend who goes to the private school, you're like, I'm going to a school that's like the same thing, but you're paying like $60,000 a year, and like I'm going to a state school and paying cheaper and getting the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think you guys brought up an interesting thing, like when you're applying for schools, like, oh, I'm just going to UMass. Like in a few years, that's going to be a thing of the past. Nobody's saying I'm just going to UMass. It'd be like, oh wow, you got accepted to UMass. Wow.
Yeah.
And like we are, I believe it's 7th in New England,
yeah.
Only to be bested by private schools.
Right, and
No.
Harvard,
Yeah,
MIT,
like Ivy
those
Leagues,
kinds of
yeah.
schools. Yeah.
Now, what does that say to all the private school students that kind of look down at us? Jesse, do you have something to say?
Well, I think it just shows that we actually are a competitive school, and that we can keep up with these high-ranking Ivy League schools in our area, basically. But I mean, I guess we have the negative stigma, like we're the party school. But I think what UMass is trying to do is make it more competitive and making it more difficult for actual students to get in. So people are seeing us and like valedictorians are coming to UMass and they're boosting up these rankings for us basically, and it's just I think it's a good thing in that we can compete with schools like BC, BU, MIT, Harvard, that everyone knows are like these very, very smart schools that and very, very good schools, but UMass is just as good a school as any other school in New England.
Yeah, and I mean, we definitely make splashes all across like the news, like whether it be sports. I mean, some not so nice things like some of the rioting, but it shows that like it's a lot of people that care about a school and a school that cares back. Now what does it mean to be a part of a community like that, Bernsey?
Yeah, I mean, what it means is that like you say, it has a very high profile, and to me, what it means is that there's a lot of attention on the school, and I think in the past, the attention has been placed at things like partying and riots, but it's leaning more towards academics and being a good school, which is a really good thing for us, because as it increases, the value of our degree will increase, and for people in the past who have a degree from UMass, their degree increases too. So it's great for everyone in the UMass community, alumni, students, grad students. It's just a good thing in general.
Now, is there any word of advice to the newcomers to UMass to keep this tradition burning bright?
Study hard, get good grades, don't party too hard. I don't know. Same old stuff, but I feel like that's true of anywhere. But I just definitely think that UMass is starting to lose the stigma of being just a party school and kind of raising the standards of being really a good education. I mean, we see lists all the time of like best schools and biggest party schools, and I feel like you're not seeing UMass on those party school lists anymore, or not nearly as often. So, go UMass.
Yeah, exactly. We're starting to like back a few decades ago. We were ZooMass and nothing else. But now, in recent years, we're definitely like making strides to better ourselves academically as well. And yeah, we're 91, only going up from here. Stay tuned, because next we're going to be talking about a catcalling video that raised some controversy online.